Yes.
Hey, what's going
All
on,
right.
everybody? Michael back at you, man. This is the second 129 wonderful guest that I've had today. We just had our company commander. We just had Jim on, aka Captain Servy, Lieutenant Servy. So we just got off the horn. Now we got my good buddy Alex here, aka Sergeant First Class Reyes, as we once knew him. But hey, man, how you doing today, Alex? I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm
No
pretty
problem,
good.
man. How's your day going?
So far, so good.
Yes,
Just
sir.
chilling. I'm on leave today, so chilling.
There you go. Hey, no mission at hand, man. Hey, so if you don't
Yep.
mind telling the listeners, like, where you from? You know, what got you thinking about joining the military? Obviously, you're in the Army, like no other way to do it. But you know, give us a little bit of insight on that, and maybe your time when you first joined the military, and some of
All
your
right.
leadership time, and we'll work from there.
All right. So I'm originally from Puerto Rico,
Okay.
and I my first enlistment was in '89. I was in college. I was like in third year in college, and honestly, I needed the money for college,
Yeah.
so I went and joined the reserve. My career was weird. Is different than most everybody because most everybody goes into one of the components and stays there,
Yeah.
or start on active duty and then they switch to guard or reserve. I did it the other way around. I was on reserve. I did like 9 years in the reserve, and then went on active duty. Did about 9, 10, and then switch back to the reserve and finish the once I got my credit of service for like 20 years, 21 years,
Yeah.
and then I retired from the reserve.
Did it go by fast for you?
Um, Honestly, sometimes it did. Sometimes it was like it felt like it was just slow, but sometimes it did. Especially now, I'm like, I look back and it's like, wow, it's been that long already. I've been
Yeah.
out. I retired in 2011,
Man,
so
you
I've
almost
been
on
out
20 years,
12,
man. You're gonna be on 20 years before
12
you know
years
it.
already. Exactly, exactly.
So
But it
go ahead.
was it was a good experience. I mean, it has an inconvenience, of course, because
Yeah,
you know there was kind of a war going on at the time. But other
right.
than that,
Not bad. Would you when
no.
did you know you wanted to when did you know that you wanted to get out the army? Like when did you figure that one out?
Um, it happens gradually. It wasn't like I woke up one day and I'm like, I'm getting out.
Right.
But it was, as I was getting older, and getting up in the ranks, um, one of the things that got me thinking was like, okay, I'm gonna get my first look for master sergeant. Chances are I'm not gonna get it, but that's my first look. So if
Okay.
I do get it eventually, I'm gonna have to put a diamond on my collar, and I'm gonna be leading this soldier.
Right.
My knees are gone. I can barely run, and I don't want to be the broke first sergeant that just telling people what to do and I'm in the back of the formation. That
Yeah.
was never me.
Okay.
So that was one of the things that made me start thinking, it's time to hang it up. That was one. Because of deployments and all of that, of course, I've been married all this time, so my wife was like, "You need to get. I need you at the house.
Yeah.
We're we're we're, we're getting older. I'm tired. I want you to be home with me." So that of course that was part of it.
Yeah, most definitely. Did you have a plan
Yeah.
for when that time came? Or did you figure out, did you say, all right, this is what I'm gonna do? I'm probably gonna go ahead and dive in or what?
Um. Honestly, originally I was just gonna walk away. I was just gonna walk away. with 18 years of service. I was like,
Whoa, even before you got to 20.
yep, that this was before. When I started thinking about all this, I was about, yeah, just shy of 18 years
Wow.
combined. And I thought about, I'm just gonna walk away. But then I started thinking, I'm like, it's just 2 more years. Can I hang on for 2 more years?
Yeah.
So I talk it over with my wife, and she's like, yeah, if it's just 2 years, okay, let do it. And it wasn't gonna be on active duty. I knew I was leaving active duty, but then what I did was I switched components back to the reserve.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not every day, but that you're still subject to being deployed and all of that.
Oh
So.
yeah, yeah. You still, yeah. Captain Service. Jim was just saying he went to after he left active duty, he went right to like reserve, and
Mhm.
he said he got activated to go to Afghanistan with just like that. So it's
Exactly.
like that could have happened to you.
Yep.
This is a crapshoot, man. You never know what's going to happen. So where'd you go?
Exactly. Now,
Where'd you go into the reserves at? Then where'd you end up
um,
transferring out to?
so when I left active duty, I went to this reserve unit in Camp Blanding, Florida,
Okay.
and I did some research on trying to get into that unit because what it was, this was a unit that did training for other units that were getting deployed.
Okay.
So, like, if you have other reserve units before they deploy, they go get their training up to speed.
Yeah.
This unit was, they were the OCs and trainers for that. So that's what I ended up. That's the type of unit that I ended up.
So how was that transition for you? Was it did you want to do that because were you non-deployable for doing something like that?
Exactly. While I was in that unit, it was an undeployable unit.
Okay.
It was interesting. It was different from the other units that I've been. I was in my first, during my first portion in the reserve, I was in a finance unit.
Okay.
And then when I went on active duty, I was a transporter.
Right.
And now I'm doing like uh basic basic stuff like clearing buildings and that kind of stuff that we went through while we were on active duty. We're
Right.
kind of giving these people a refresher. So I'm kind of trying to get a refresher on it myself so I can teach it.
Okay.
So it was interesting. It was different, but it was interesting.
How'd you like it once you transitioned in? Did you just do it like the 1 weekend a month, the 2 weekends like for the training, or did you actually do like more? Did you end up doing more?
No, it ended up being just the 1 week in a year, and I can't even remember if I did the 2 weeks that first year. But it was, that what they tell you in every ad, 1 week in a year, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That's what it
So
seems like, unless you get put up on orders. But did you like it? What was the transition like from you going from active duty to a reserve unit? I never did that, but I've heard from different people, Sicardo and all these people, like some stories. But I'm curious to hear how your experience went.
it was interesting. Now let me frame this for you. When I was in the reserve the first time, between 89 and 99.
Yeah.
When I first got in that unit, I was one of the young kids. I
Right.
was, in my early 20s. Now the older guys in the unit, the E6s and E7s and above that have been in the unit for a while, those were Vietnam vets.
Oh yeah. Damn.
But there weren't a whole lot of them. There was only like a handful, literally a handful. Nobody else had been, in a deployment or in a combat situation. None of that.
Right.
Now, about shoot, actually the day I graduated basic was when Iraq invaded Kuwait.
Okay.
So that kicked off Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and all of that. That unit that I was in got deployed. I didn't get to go because I hadn't been to AIT.
Okay.
But everybody, so now when they came back, now everybody are veterans on a combat area.
Yeah.
So that you could feel the change on what they were like before and after they came back. Now, when I went to this other unit, the global war on terror been going on so long. Everybody been deployed at least once or twice. So it
Right.
was, we all knew what it's like to be out in the sand.
Yeah.
We're not. I wasn't a combat soldier, but there were combat soldiers in that unit.
Right.
So it was different. So, but like I said, it was good. It was a good experience.
All right, here's a little question for you. So you're from Puerto Rico, so you're used to it being hot, but how was that first time you had to go to the porta potty in Iraq?
Man, I have never forgotten that heat. Now,
Man, that one and when they opened up the plane in Kuwait, man, when they opened up the C-130 or whatever, and they opened that
yep,
back in, and it just feels like you got all your stuff on. It just feels like you got an oven in your face. Like what?
yep. I tell everybody. I mean, you're walking around and it's a breeze. It's just a hot breeze. Like
Yeah.
you're walking and somebody has a blow dryer in your face.
That's exactly it, man. That's exactly the
That's
feeling right there.
exactly what it is. Then you go in the porta potty that's been sitting in the sun all day, and you have all this gear on.
Man, hey, what about remember? I know you're gonna remember this one. Remember when Sergeant Major had that one unit dumpster diving because they were throwing all their mail away with the addresses on it, and Sergeant Major had them in full kit, man, going to all the dumpsters and getting the mails out. Dude, there was some crazy times at deployment, man. Oh man,
There was crazy. There was crazy stuff. The other thing that I remember from Iraq was, I was on night shift, so
yeah,
I come out the building. I guess I think I was going to the latrine or something, and it's dark, and I feel like something touching my neck or whatever. I'm like, just
yeah,
bugs or whatever. And I'm like, nah, it's not bugs. This is December. Where there haven't been any bugs in a while. It's snow. It was snowing.
yeah,
It was
did.
snowing in Iraq.
Yeah,
Then next day I found like a local paper or something. It hadn't snowed in Iraq in like 60 years or something like that. Of course, I'm here for this mess.
yeah, of course, yeah, exactly, man. We were there for history, man. One day 130,
Yep.
one day snow is like it's crazy,
Yep.
but man, that was a crazy
Yep.
deployment. But
Yep.
what's some good things that you started maybe digging into before you separated? Was there anything that you were able to use, like any type of benefits, any type of programs that you sort of got a hold of when it was your time to transition out?
The two main things was the GI Bill. Get some information on the GI Bill. Even though I already had a college degree, you can use it for other stuff. So,
Right.
knowing what is available to me and what I can use it for, that was great. The other thing was the VA claim, which I didn't really know about, but part of the out processing, they hook you up with I think it was a rep from VFW,
Okay.
and they walk you they tell you what you need, and they help you filling out the paperwork and all that. That was really good because I didn't know anything about that.
Did you know it? Did you even know what you were going to go talk to the rep about when you went to that appointment when you were clearing?
Honestly, not really.
Yeah,
Not really.
that's
I
crazy,
just,
right? But like we
yeah.
were saying earlier, everyone's worried about going to formation the next day. They're not worried about, hey, did Sergeant Reyes go to talk to the VFW? You know, like who's really checking in on that? You know, and for
Yeah,
someone like you that had all
exactly.
those years in, it's like, man, you want to think like everyone has a mentor or like someone they can go to, but sometimes even those guys
Mhm.
aren't really focused on getting out because they're so high strung on the mission at hand. It's like they got their health and their own wellness and
Exactly.
their career on the back burner.
Exactly. That just, the way it is like, okay, you're getting out, you're going home.
Yeah,
I'm still here. I still got 10, 12
yeah,
more years left.
right. They
I
might
don't
be
have
jealous
I
of
don't
you,
have the
man. They might be
time.
jealous.
I would love to help you. I just don't have the time. If, you know, if I'm the platoon sergeant, I got 30 other guys to look after. I don't have the time to look out after you, walk you to your appointments
Right. Especially if you're
because
a
you
senior
leave.
NCO, you're off on your own. They're not going to have another your peer
Exactly.
walk with you. Yeah, that's kind
Exactly.
of crazy to put that into perspective like that, though. But that's the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah. If you're a senior NCO, you're like, there, here's your checklist, go clear, and we'll see you.
Exactly.
Which,
They'll do a hail and farewell for you, give you a plaque. You know what I mean? Give you
yeah,
a coin or something like that. Which nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just
Nothing.
like, man, give a instead of that, like realistically thinking, like even think of it. Even I was a platoon sergeant at one time too, and stuff like that. But it's like, man, I
Mhm.
never learned about how to write resumes. You learn how to write an NCOER or how to write a
Nope.
21.66-8-1 checklist or a 4856, but you don't learn how to write a civilian lingo resume.
Yep.
It's like it's kind of crazy, man, but it just seems
Exactly.
like it's the
Yep.
network. Find
And
somebody,
it's
you know.
Yep. And it's a good thing that that's part of the stuff that you go through when you're clearing,
Yeah,
but they don't tell you until you're there. Once you're there, they know, oh, okay, well, they're gonna teach me about resume building and interview strategies and all of that stuff, but you didn't know beforehand. If you don't know beforehand and you miss that step somehow, like, okay, you don't know what you missed
yeah, because you never
now,
got it. Yeah, exactly.
because you didn't know to be expecting it.
Right.
Uh,
Can't expect the unexpected, right?
and like
It's
and
like
like I said, yeah, like I said, I can't fault the that there's no time for the platoon sergeant to go with you to all of this. But it's just no time. I can see it. I can understand it. I've been a platoon sergeant. And I might like I have 30 guys that I have to take care of. I cannot leave them to walk you through the process of you getting out of the army.
right,
I don't have the time.
right. So let's keep on that real quick. Like, what did sick call look like for
Mhm.
you when you were coming up in the military? I mean, you joined when I was 1 years old. I was born in '88, which is
Mhm.
not that long.
Yeah.
We're not old, but it's like what did that look like? Because obviously we know what it looked like at Campbell, but was it anything different when you were younger in the military or what?
Honestly, it hadn't, as far as I can tell, it hadn't changed much.
Yeah.
Um, but I didn't see the active duty process until 98, 99.
Okay.
And honestly, I only went to sick call a few times in my career, and it was, I actually really needed it. I fell and hurt something, or something a little more serious.
Right.
It's not like when you're a civilian, you don't feel well, you just drive down to your doctor or whatever, or go to the urgent care.
Yeah.
It's different. So,
You might not even get
um,
out of the parking lot at Fort Campbell, man. You not getting out of the parking lot. They say, "Hey, where are you going?" PT. You're not leaving the parking lot. You
Yeah,
got no.
you're supposed to be on PT. You do PT first, and then you go to sick call.
But sick call closed by the time PT's over, so you miss a sick call for the day. Then it's a damn Groundhog Day the next day doing the same thing. If you try to, it's
Doing
crazy,
the
man.
same thing.
Yeah,
I remember that I think it was the sergeant major who he would park across the exit to the
yeah, man.
parking lot to,
Yeah,
to see who was driving up before PT was over.
yep. And he catch him,
Yep, all the time.
but
And the problem is some of those were justified. They really need to go, but there's a
right.
few that just want to mess around and they just screw it up for everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Overly abuse it, man. And that's like, we're definitely not talking
Yep.
about that, but it's like if you got something legitimately wrong, you should go get seen for it so you can get that service connection, whatever it may be,
Mm-hmm.
tinnitus, mental
Yep.
health, physical health, whatever it is. It's like, if you don't do it, you're going to just set yourself up for failure because you can't go backwards in time and say, hey, I did 20 years in the Army. But, oh, did you go to sick call? No, I never went. Well, you don't have anything service connected. You could probably maybe get some stuff to work for you with some good documentation in the medical nexus and stuff, but that's a whole nother story. So, yeah, just go, right? Just go.
Like I said, I barely ever went to sick call. My medical folder was like this thick.
Yeah.
When I was going through the process of getting out or whatever, there was several other people getting out at the same time I was, and one guy, the older, was like, man, have you ever done anything else besides being on sick call, or are you really hurt that bad?
Yeah.
Probably was. Might have been hurt, on a deployment or whatever.
Exactly. So
But
how?
I was
Go ahead.
just looking at the size of the different size folder, this to that. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's like some disconnect. Like, did I miss something here or something like that?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
How long did it take you for you to like meet? How long out did you know that you were going to meet with that VA rep or that VFW rep? Did you know that like on the last leg of your service, or did you sort of know it like, hey, I knew 6 months out I was going to have this, and I had it lined up for when I got out? Or
About the time that I was getting ready to get out. Now this is the thing. When I got to Campbell, I already knew I was gonna get out. My ETS was coming up. But when I got to Campbell, I already also knew that the unit that I was going to was getting deployed. So my ETS was gonna get extended.
okay.
So that happened. We went on our deployment. When I came back, then I have to start doing all this maneuvering so I can get my ETS date adjusted again so I can get out. Because otherwise I would have gone over the 10-year active duty and then I'm in there. And then
Oh
I
man,
can't get out.
and you would have had to do another. You would have had to fulfill the rest of the time
I,
in.
I had another 10 years left. And I wanted to get out. So when we got back from TQ, I only had like a couple of months to get all that adjusted and do my out processing and all of that and do VA and whatever else was needed so I could make that ETS date, switch to the reserve component again and be gone.
Yeah.
I only had like, I want to say it was like 60 days all told. So in between those 60 days, that's when I got all my clearance paperwork and turn on my TA50 and find out that I'm have to meet the guy from VA and from VFW and all of that, do it in those 60 days. Plus the part that was through I guess it's retirement services where they teach you to do your resume and interview strategies and all of that. All of that happened in that little bit of time.
Do you think you gained up? Do you think you got a lot out of it, or do you think it went so fast that it sort of went over your head a little bit?
I did get some of it. Honestly, it for me it was different. I had already worked as a civilian when I first joined. When I got out of college, I had a civilian job. I was a citizen soldier, like so I had already been to a job interview as a civilian, so it wasn't new. It was just getting some other new stuff that I hadn't seen in whatever many years.
Yeah.
Uh, but I did get some of it. You get what you put into it. If you just there to get your stamp for that station and be gone, you're not gonna get anything out of it.
Yeah, that's a good
Um,
way to put it because I didn't even know what the VA appointment was. I remember I had it on the sheet, but I didn't even go to it. I think it might have said optional. It wasn't even like a mandatory to get a signature. So I'm like, I don't know
yeah,
what that is, man. I'm
exactly.
about to go. I've been chaperoning these soldiers. I'm chaperoning these soldiers. I'm about to go take a seat somewhere or something like that. So yeah, you definitely gotta know what you're doing when you
Yeah.
get out, and you gotta, like, if you don't know what to do, find someone that already got out, or DA,
Hmm.
civilian, whatever.
Yeah.
Just find somebody that's going to point you in the right direction. There's plenty of people that are out here
Yeah.
willing to help, but if you don't open your mouth, you're not gonna get the help that you're looking for.
Exactly. Exactly. That's kind of what we were talking about earlier. That when you're on active duty, the people that you know and that you talk to every day are on active duty like you.
Yeah,
You might know you might know somebody that retired, but the great majority of your contacts are your partners, are your fellow soldiers like you.
yeah,
So trying to get a an orientation of what's going to happen when I get out, it's kind of hard. You have to find somebody that already been out so they can walk you through it, but it's hard. It depends on who you know.
did you have anybody to walk you through it?
Honestly, I might have if I had asked.
Yeah,
I just didn't
okay.
ask. But yeah, I know a couple people that were retired military that could have given me pointers of what I need or whatever. But I just didn't. I'll figure it out by myself.
You think that's like a military pride issue type of thing, like, I just do it myself, I don't need to ask somebody type of deal, or not, or just
And I don't know if that's general. I know that's me.
okay.
I'm hard headed that way
You Puerto
sometimes.
Rican, man, come on, man, you know how y'all are, man. Boricua.
I've, I've I've been told I'm hard headed many times, so that probably part of it. There was a few things that I did learn, and it's something that they don't tell you as a young soldier.
All right, I'm
Um,
listening.
you kind of learn it as you go along, as you're getting older. Make copies of everything.
Seriously,
If you get
now you need digital copies and hard copies for sure.
however, carbon copy or digital, however you want, make a copy. Make two. Keep them separate in case you lose one. Uh, and that's that one. I don't even know if it's still called like that. Your 201 file. You never
Yeah,
see it, but every time you get an award or a letter or
yeah,
whatever you get, make a copy for yourself. Keep it in your smart book.
yeah. You're right. Yeah,
Same
you're
with
right. You gotta have that
medical.
"I love me" book, man. Do the same thing with your medical
I
records, because we
your
did
I
it all the
love me
time,
book.
right?
Yep. Yep. And the medical record is harder to get to because they don't let you take it out just for the hell of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But every time you go, every time you go to sick call or whatever, take a picture of the document. Now, back when I was in, there were no smartphones, so you have to go to the Xerox machine to make a copy of the thing. But
Okay.
now you can take a picture with your phone,
Yeah, you could
print it
scan a
out, make
PDF. You could scan a PDF right to your notes and stuff on an iPhone. Yeah, you're right.
exactly. But keep a copy of it. That was one of the thing that I learned. And the guy from the VFW, that was one of the things. It's like, check out your medical record, but make before you bring it to me, make a copy of it. Make a copy of everything in that medical record because you're never gonna see it again. You're getting out. You're never gonna see that record again.
You're right. And some people
That's what I
still,
did.
some people never seen them.
Exactly. Yeah, more. On a regular career, you probably only see your medical record when you're, PCSing from one station to the next. You take it from this clinic, give it to that other clinic, and that's it. And if you go to sick call or whatever, you might see it for that 5 minutes there. That's it. And like I said, I hardly ever went to sick call, so I never saw my
Yeah.
record.
And you make a good point because I did something at Campbell and I hit my head or something like that in a DFAC, and then I wanted to that stuff never made. I went to Blanchfield, that was the hospital on base, and that paperwork never made it into my medical record. I'm like, dude, I had a concussion, you know what I mean? So I'm like, well, it said you had a laceration. I'm like, no, man, I hit my head. I'm like, screw the cut. I hit my head, man. That's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, but who's really telling you? I mean, no one's really telling you that, I guess, too many times. Hey, make sure you keep a copy of everything. Yeah. Hey, make sure you keep a copy of that RCOM, that Impact AAM, and that 4856. But, the medical record, I don't really know about that. Just turn those medical records in and get rid of that. Go drop those off somewhere. Not even thinking of like, oh, let me snap a copy. Hey, let me go to the S shops and go like get a copy of this or something. I mean, that was never even thought about, man. When you just talk about that right now, it's like, when did we ever do that?
Me neither. Out of my medical record, the only thing that I did keep always was the shot record.
Oh yeah, you're not trying to get lined up and get them again, right?
No. When I first enlisted, the unit they had a deployment readiness exercise. I didn't even have a record. I hadn't even been to basic training yet. So I get to the medical station. I was like, I don't have a record. Oh, you're getting everything then.
Just line up, man. They're gonna get you on both arms, man. They're gonna stick you like a cow.
They got me on both arms, my butt, everywhere they could get a needle in me, they put a needle. Then I got the basic training, and I'm like, don't have my medical record. Because they didn't create it, and they just put all that stuff in a sheet of paper somewhere.
Yeah.
And got the basic training, got the medical. Where's your shot record? I don't have it. So you're getting everything again.
Oh man, you gotta love that, right?
I don't know if you've seen them, the little yellow booklets.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got that.
I have like 3 of those, front to back, top to bottom.
Man, you go anywhere, man. You immune to everything, man. You probably lived about 400 probably now.
Man, I hope so.
Dude, yeah, just goes to show. Make sure you keep records. Is like, who are you gonna blame? You gonna blame the TMC? They're gonna be like, well, why didn't you have a copy of it in your left breast pocket with the aerosol book? You know what I'm saying? Something like that, like,
Stuff gets lost. When I got to Fort Campbell, I had been to a civilian doctor here in Jacksonville because I was having a problem with my jaw.
Yeah.
And they did like a CAT scan and blah, 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 and did all of that and put it on a disc. I took it to Campbell. When I went to get my record out of there, that wasn't in there. Where's we never got that. Yeah, you did. Okay. I gave it to you.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That would have been a little harder to make a copy of, but the stuff that was paper, yeah, I have copies of those.
Yeah, that's vital. What's one thing you would want to, besides the things that you just touched on, making sure you got copies and just making sure that you get seen, like what's one thing that could have, that you want to push out to the people that may be struggling, maybe thinking about getting out the military, anything about like the transition, what would you tell them?
I think the most important thing that I can say is have a plan. Have a solid plan on how to bring a paycheck. Not a plan for education or maybe or no. Have a solid plan of how you gonna keep getting paid after you leave the army. Uh, that's not, they throw out in the civilian world now. They use this term angry quitting, that you
Yeah,
just fed up with
I've been hearing that like a little bit, I guess, and I had to read up
yeah,
on that a couple
you
of
get
times.
fed up with your job and you just throw your hat and I'm out.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Obviously, you can't do that in the army,
Yeah,
but we all had that day that we just like I am done with the army. Mm, don't do that.
I had that when I was working with Donnie D, man, in Iraq. I was like, we just got into it, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm not working with you no more. I'll go fill sandbags till we leave, dude. I don't really care. But it's like you go do that, and you're like, really, like, come on, man, like, get with the damn program, dude. Like, you're not. You signed up.
We all have it.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
all have it. But if you're coming up on your on your ETS and you're not sure you're gonna reenlist or not,
yeah.
think about it. Don't just say screw it. I'm not gonna reenlist and be done with it if you don't have a plan.
Yeah, not only think about it, but like take action on whatever way you go, because you're right about the school, because I was just talking to my buddy about this earlier today. The school stuff, it's a double-edged sword. Now, if you don't have nothing, if you want to go to school and get a job, say you want to use your GI Bill or voc rehab, whatever the case may be, even if you got an army tomorrow and you started school on Monday, you're not going to get paid for 30 days, and it's going to be prorated. That's what people think you're going to get. So you
Exactly.
can't rely on that.
And school is great. School is
Right.
going to help you, a little further down the line. But between your last check in the army and your first check from your GI Bill, you have to have something coming in.
You better have
Especially if you have
terminal
a
leave.
family.
You better have something coming. Yeah.
Especially if you have a family. If you're, if you're single, you can you can live on ramen for a couple of weeks, I guess.
Yeah, peanut butter jelly and
But
tuna fish. Yeah, but if you got kids,
yeah,
wife, or yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Seriously.
That's one thing I would definitely say. Another thing, and I know this is probably it's not for everybody. Not everybody has it in them to do 20 years, but
Yeah.
it is the difference, and it's why I did it. If I had walked away with 18 years of service, I would have walked away with nothing. All I did was nothing, absolutely nothing. Now I was able to do 2 more years, and it's not like I was doing nothing. I did my job. I did my job as a soldier.
Yeah.
But I only had to do it until I was able to say, okay, I'm done. I can get something out of it. Is it gonna be, my full subsistence when I'm old? No, but it helps.
Yeah, but then you got things like SSDI you can get at one point. Then you got you got CRSC, combat related special compensation. There's other avenues of multiple streams of income out there. So it's like
exactly.
you know how it goes. Like you can't really. It's not getting easier, man. It's only getting harder. That's why something like this for all the veterans and members of the military. Let's pull each other up, man. Like we got enough people going down the drain, and like, dude, there's enough people out here trying to help, but we just gotta get it all under one umbrella or just get it going.
Yep.
What's your oh go ahead. My bad.
The other thing is try to invest, because Social Security may or may not be there.
Most definitely.
So take care of yourself on that end. I remember when I first joined that was not something that they talked about. At least to the young soldiers, they never, we were never included in that conversation. That was something that was left for senior enlisted or officers, but junior enlisted, that wasn't part of it. The first soldier that I remember that knew about investing and all of that was Roger.
Okay, yeah.
and he
Well,
was
I know like Master
brand
Sergeant
new.
Nolan and like Bearfield and all them were in it too, I think. So like it's like I was telling Nunez the other
Exactly.
day, I was like, man, we should have came up with like a veteran. We should have bought half of Clarksville when we got back, man. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that, or like but
Yeah,
not, whatever. Because that
but
stuff could have been panned out by
yeah,
now.
but like you said, who were the ones that were in on the investment? Sergeant first
Seniors,
class, master
seniors,
sergeants.
the seniors, man.
Senior,
Yeah,
listen,
that's
I'm telling you, the only one that I knew for a fact that knew about investment that was looking up that was Wojo. Was the only one,
yeah.
and he. But like I said, when I was Wojo's age, nobody told me about it. I didn't even start hearing about investment until I was already in E6.
Yeah, exactly. And he was hearing it as an E4 and below. So shout out Wojo, man. Get on here and tell your story too,
Yeah.
man. We waiting on you. We gonna be waiting on
So
you.
so I lost, I don't know, 8, 9 years that I could have been putting away a little bit every month.
Yeah. And that adds up, man, because it's like if you I don't know the exact stat, but if you save $100 when you're like 15 years old, by
Mhm.
the time you're 35, you'll have $1 million if you're
Yeah.
reinvesting all your money and you're making 8% or with
Yeah.
it's compounding. You know what I mean? It's like, man, if you do that over time, like anything else, if you're just gonna it's just gonna reap so many benefits. But now I
Mhm.
appreciate you bringing that up and touching on it because that's definitely, you know, a valid point, and you gotta invest
Yeah.
your money. You can't. Jim was just talking about that too. He's like he grew up frugal, and that instilled a
Mhm.
different money mindset in him. Like, hey, I don't need Starbucks every day,
Yeah.
but I'd rather get real estate or do this investment that's going to pay
Yeah.
off in the future because hey, I'm 20 or 30 years old at the time. I'm planning to last till I'm 60 or 70. I'm trying to make it as long as I
Exactly.
can. So you'll reap like if you got your retirement, you got your disability, then you got a one or two, like even if you got disability plus like 2 rental houses in Florida, man, like what you might be making $10,000 a month if you haven't paid off. Like you need more than
Exactly.
that to live. That's 120,000, man. I'm saying just
Yeah.
like you got to be careful with
Just
lifestyle inflation,
it,
lifestyle creep.
it, yep. It's gonna be, the your retirement pay is not gonna be enough.
Right,
That's just the fact of life. It's not gonna be enough. So you have to have something else. For me, like in my case, when I left active duty, went back to, I already had a job lined up.
right,
So I went from active duty to reserve to a federal job. So I was good. Um, Plus, I had already started putting away on the, TSP or whatever.
right,
So it is it perfect? No, I probably, like I said, I lost the first 8, 9 years of that I could have been investing from the day I enlisted if somebody had told me.
right. Or if we would
Maybe now
have
the
if we
new
would have asked or something, right? At the same time, it's like both. Yeah,
exactly. Maybe the new soldiers coming in now, maybe they get that type of orientation, but I didn't get it when I was new.
right. Yeah, no, definitely. That's all great information. What was your favorite place that you ever visited when you're in the military? Like on maybe not on leave, maybe on like a assignment or orders or something like that.
Um, Man, actually, when I first went on active duty, my second station was in Kuwait. So I was in Kuwait actually as permanent party, not deployment.
Yeah.
That was interesting. I went to Kuwait. I went to Qatar.
Okay.
Um, while I was in Kuwait. Actually, this was so long ago that the camp that they had for R&R, they were just finishing that installation when I was there. They had
Buring,
just finished.
Camp Buring,
Not Buring. Oh my
Arif
God,
John,
Asalia,
Ali,
Asalia in Qatar.
Ali Asalim. My bad. R&R. Yeah, you're right. Ali
No, no,
Asalim. Man.
Camp Asalia in Qatar.
Oh, okay.
That's
Oh,
where
sorry. Okay, Cutter. Okay, I got you.
yeah, yeah. They had just finished that, so those were interesting. Then When I came back from Kuwait, went back to Fort Eustis, then went to Jacksonville. Now the unit in Jacksonville was interesting. It's a non-deployable unit, but we did get to travel to Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. Those,
Nice.
we oversaw those ports. So I went to El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Panama, Colombia. I went a bunch of places. Those were interesting.
That's nice. So you went to like
Yep.
Cartagena, you went to all the port cities and stuff like that?
Yep.
That's cool.
Not all of them, but went to several.
Did you travel on an Army boat?
I did actually.
How was that?
Time.
How was that?
Oh, that wasn't fun.
I can only imagine, man. I couldn't do it, man. I get sick on a cruise ship, man. I'm not doing that. So,
man, in 2010, Haiti got hit by earthquake, a major earthquake.
Okay.
Now Haiti is part of the AOR of that unit that I was assigned to, so we had to go to Haiti to make sure that somebody was there to receive all this humanitarian cargo that was going to be coming in.
Yeah.
Now the airport was messed up, the seaport was messed up, so there was really very few options for us to come in. So they got us on a LCU, it's a landing craft unit, something like that. It's like a flat bottom gray boat.
Okay.
They put a bunch of equipment in it and they put us in there. Remind me to send you pictures of our sleeping quarters. And it was in the engine room.
Oh man.
We had cots in the engine room.
Man, weren't you like E7 at that time still? 2010, you're E7.
No, E8, I went as a civilian, so
you went as a civilian. Oh, I got you. Okay, no wonder why they threw you in the engine room, man. Like they said, get in there.
Oh, it wasn't just me; it was everybody from my unit that went on that trip.
Oh,
that because the quarters in the boat is for the crew. They don't have extra. This is not a passenger boat,
right?
So that wasn't fun.
How many days did that take to get there?
4 days, something like that. From Cape Canaveral
I would have tried to sleep as much as possible. I don't even know how that would have happened.
I did. It was, just popping Dramamine every day, and just they were really. It was more than anything. It was just boredom. Just fighting the boredom because there was nothing to do. We couldn't go out on the deck because it's dangerous.
Right.
So we could only go to the cot and sleep, or sit in the dining hall, whatever they call it. I can't remember. All day. That's it. That's all you could do.
Play spades or something like that.
Just boring. Yep.
If you don't have sea legs, be careful about them boats.
Oh my God, I get seasick. So I was just popping Dramamine every day. Once we got to Haiti, it was super interesting. It was heartbreaking seeing how poor a country is. Because this is the capital, and they are so poor.
Where you go, Port-au-Prince?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Port-au-Prince. It's crazy how beautiful Haiti is in the Dominican Republic. I mean, same island, two different sides, but at the same time. I flew over Puerto Rico not that long ago, and Puerto Rico just got hit with a hurricane last year, remember? And I was going to go there, but, man, we flew over – we went somewhere else, but we stopped in San Juan, and it looked pretty rough too. It's like those islands, when they get hit, it's an ugly sight.
Well, Puerto Rico got hit by a major hurricane. It's going to be 6 years now. They're still not back 100% to like before.
Yeah, when they were on the grid, when they lost all that power and stuff like that, when they were off everything.
Everything got messed up.
What's one word that you would summarize your time in the Army?
One word.
Yeah.
I guess interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
I guess
Definitely interesting.
I guess interesting. Yeah, I guess it was interesting. There were things I wish I could have done. Just didn't get the time.
Right.
But it was interesting.
What'd you wish you would have done?
I would have liked to be a drill sergeant actually.
We'll
But
get you back. We'll
by
get
the
you back in, man. You need orders?
new, I need new
I'm gonna call
knees.
Delbert, man. I'm gonna call Delbert for you real quick and get you back in. I get
If
you
you
in.
give me a if you give me a set of 17-year-old knees, I might do it.
No, I can just get you the drill sergeant hat, man. I can't get you the knees though.
That basically that was most of it. I was like when I consider applying for it, I was like my knees hurt too much. I can do my running that I need to do to pass my PT test, but
Yeah.
my knees are gone and they're bad. I can't run like that anymore.
No, some of the guys I talked to that were drilled, they said that just like, I mean, we went through basic training. You saw them drill sergeants are there, the crack of dawn till night,
Yeah.
smoking you in the middle of the night and nonstop out. It's a heck of a. I wanted to do that too. If I would have stayed in, that would have been a cool assignment, to train and just do that.
Yeah.
But man, I feel like you'd probably be good after a couple cycles and say, oh shoot, I got like 8 more cycles or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like never.
I still got 2.5 more years to go.
Exactly. But I was good with one cycle, man. I'm good on this. Can I PCS now? But like, no, you got another 3
Yeah.
years. But no, that's good. You got any other things that you want to close out with for this podcast?
No, just keep putting the word out. Help the other soldiers that need it. And if you are a soldier and you need help, ask. There's always somebody that's willing. Just gotta ask.
Exactly. Closed mouths don't get fed. Alex, man, bro, appreciate you. I'm glad that we've been keeping in touch, and we'll have to link up sometime in Florida. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for sharing your story. If you guys are a veteran, it don't matter what branch of service you're in. Doesn't matter if you're the National Guard, reserves, or active. Get on here if you want. Share your story. Help somebody. Like each one teach one. We're not here because we're trying to like gain clout. We're here because we want to help each other because that's what we used to do on a daily basis when we were in the military. So I appreciate you, bro. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll be in touch, man. Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
All right, take care. Cunius Cunum Trudit, wedge drive wedge, man. Stallions, let's get it.
Cool.